Alright everyone, we start off today talking about another presumable 4D chess move by Donald Trump, which is that tomorrow on 9/11 he's planning to be the announcer in a boxing match, which by the way will have Evander Holyfield in it. You'll know him as that all-star boxer that got bitten in the ear once by Mike Tyson, and it was a meme, and everyone was laughing about it. And they actually had little chocolates with a bite removed from them of an ear, which was very funny at the time. I don't think they make those anymore. I wonder how much they're worth if you got one still originally in its box and it's not massively oxidized. Anyway, this is probably to upstage Joe Biden, because Biden is, presumably going to be doing a 9/11 speech, probably going to be at roughly at the same time, to try to take wind out of his sails and upstage him. And it'll probably work because a lot of people, they like to stroke their fake outrage so that they can clutch their pearls and tut-tut and do the gossipy church mom thing. So even a lot of people that don't like Trump, and maybe even don't have a problem with Biden, will probably tune into Trump and be fucking around on Twitter and tweeting and making posts and, shrieking in fear and agony at the unpatriotic display of doing a boxing match on the holy day of 9/11, which, by the way, at this point is a hyperbolic joke. You don't have to forget September 11th, 2001, but it's been a while. We're going on 20 years. It's time to be an adult and realize that you got sold a bunch of pig-in-a-poke authoritarianism afterwards. And by the way, and I will be making a stream tomorrow, and I'm sure I'll touch on this, 9/11 was the best thing the government had to increase the scope of its power and authority up until the last couple of years with COVID. Now you've got Faucism replacing 9/11 as the think of the children sort of icon. We'll eventually have another one. I'm interested in what the next one will be. Anyway, first and foremost, keep in mind, down below there will be a pinned comment if you're watching this video on YouTube with links to 4 other video hosting sites that I use. Keep in mind I make 2 exclusive videos every day that just go on those sites, occasionally an extra. There might be a third one today, actually, so hint, hint. I've got an idea. A little birdie told me something kind of interesting with regards to YouTube's algorithms, and I want to look into this. Here's the thing. Biden's easily upstaged. If you look at the White House streams, whenever I do reaction commentary, and on 9/11, presumably I'll be doing that. I don't know what time Biden's slotted to speak, but even if it's kind of late in the evening my time, kind of worth it, for ridiculing a 9/11 speech. But I'd be just as enthused by doing it with Trump's boxing announcing. And I'm not into boxing. I don't really care about who wins, Evander Holyfield's comeback and shit like that. But just to hear Trump talk would be fun. I know he's got a bunch of events scheduled for the upcoming weeks. I'll probably be trying to stream one of them. Could take the feed from RSBN as long as it's just the raw footage. One problem is Trump often plays copyrighted music at the beginning and the end of his rallies. So I'll have to figure that out because I don't want any problems. I prefer it to be raw footage as much as possible. Joe Biden will not attract many people, in part because, of course, with COVID stuff, it's unlikely there will be a large in-person audience. Hell, there might not be one. Maybe he'll just do what he normally does. He'll get on the podium in the East Wing or whatever. He'll do a terse speech, turn around without answering questions. He'll talk about America's greatness. We're coming back. We're building back better. We're better off than we were back then. Mistakes were made. I got us out of Afghanistan, blah, blah. He'll self-aggrandize. Nobody will be buying it. And at the end of the speech, people will be bored. Because with Trump, you never know what the fuck he's going to say. Some off-the-wall crazy shit. There could be all sorts of weird stuff that happens at a Trump rally. But with Biden, it's very formulaic. He gives the speech. Maybe he zergs and takes a question, and then his handlers, oh no, Mr. President, no, please cut it short. They're whispering into his earpiece and going like this on the sidelines behind the curtains. But normally that doesn't even happen. He's pretty scripted. Well, that's boring. Nobody gives a shit. And by the way, a lot of people, they're too young to remember at this point. They don't even remember 9/11. Like, you had to be at least 5 or 6 years old probably to even fucking remember. Those people now, even if they were that age then, they'd be what? They're pushing 26, 27 years old. So there's a whole generation and a half of people that, fucking, a lot of them old enough to vote, and they don't even remember 9/11 really. Whereas a boxing match with Trump, and he's done wrestling and shit like that before, he might do something crazy. He might actually come out in shorts with boxing gloves on and start antagonizing the boxers. He might start hitting people with a chair as a joke or something. It's going to be exciting. More people will probably tune in to watch Trump do a boxing ring announcing than will watch Joe Biden. And many of the people that watch Joe Biden, it won't be on a primary source like Fox's feed or CNN or certainly the White House official stream. They'll be watching live reaction commentary, including from people like me. And if they're up against each other, I suppose I should probably cover Biden's speech anyway, because there's no chance of copyrighted material there, so just for my own purposes. But I mean, I have no illusions that some of those people won't also be paying more attention to Trump at the same time as the reaction stream. Oh boy, will it be funny. And so, link in the description. Archived, of course. By the way, archive.today is working again, as I figured they would. They had some sort of server issue the other day briefly for a couple of hours, and said server down when people were trying to go to the links, which is unhelpful, because I always use archive.today, because they're better than archive.org. Link in the description. There are some people that are freaking out and saying, well, how unpatriotic. This is disrespectful to the United States. It's disrespectful to the survivors and first responders, and Biden will probably mention them like he did the other day. But who cares? This is Donald Trump, and anyone who is easily offended already doesn't like the dude. So, obviously, Orange Man bad, terrible, Nazi, fascistic, orange, oh my god, worst president ever, and all of this other hyperbole gets heaped upon him. But nobody really, they're not going to change their mind and say, whoa, he had a boxing match he was announcing on 9/11? Well, there goes my Trump hat. This is the last straw. It's just not going to happen, and he knows this. Now, I believe that he's clearly preparing for 2024. At the very least, he's clearly preparing to be a major force in endorsements in the midterms, and probably 24. Whether he runs or not, I think is still technically up in the air, but I think he has decided that if nothing significant happens between now and then, he will, and that's why he's holding rallies. There's no other reason for him to hold rallies. It wouldn't make any sense. He's still, by the way, pulling in, 5 to 10,000 fucking people. Even at the smaller rallies, you don't see them on TV because they refuse to air them on the mainline networks, but you can see them on the internet. RSBN covers them. I'm going to be doing live reactions to them if I can. Maybe I should get someone like on the ground and say, hey, feed me raw footage of this. Please don't troll me by taking out your wang and wanking off in the back row or something like that. Stranger things could happen. I think that Trump will get more viewers. And I think that it'll be considered crass. The legacy media like this will say, oh my god, this is so terrible. Everyone else will chuckle. And once again, it'll be another bit of evidence that Biden's nowhere near as popular as he was initially projected to be by the lamestream. I think Biden was always fairly unpopular. Even though a plurality of people that voted for him were nose holders. They weren't fans of Biden, they just didn't like Trump. That was, I think, a supermajority of Biden's voters. And then, of course, honk honk, there's 80 million of them, blah, blah, blah. But I think a significant proportion didn't even like Joe Biden. Well, now, the chickens are coming home to roost because people are realizing he truly is as bad as people like I said he would be with the economy, with foreign policy, with everything. He doesn't even take questions. He's openly antagonistic towards the population. He's constantly skirting the Constitution. This will be, with his OSHA bullshit, I think the 4th time the courts will smack him down, and that's my prediction that that'll happen fairly quickly. He's a loser. And nobody wants to listen to him speak. It's fucking boring. It would be fun. It'd be one thing if he were a total screw-up, but at least he said entertaining shit once in a while. Like if he was W. W would occasionally get into it with reporters. There was one, I think, in 2005 or so, where he'd get really testy and people thought that was funny and meme-worthy. Or he'd say, like, humans and fish coexisting together, OBGYNs practicing their love with women and stuff. It's something that was at least amusing. It was a soundbite you could put in a YouTube video back when you could do that without copyright concerns. But with Biden, you don't get that because he refuses to go off script. Because he's been very carefully trained and he's constantly reminded by his staff, you don't get any ice cream tonight if you go off the script, Joe. You're not really the president, you're the steward. You're not in charge of anything. Go out there and look cute for the cameras, squint your eyes some more, and look bumbling and befuddled, and then don't answer any questions. Trump will answer questions, though. They'll probably be full audience fucking participation at a boxing match he's involved with. That's about all. Peace out.